Welcome the students of class 7. Welcome. Today in this class we are going to discuss the rest of the subunit and the next subunit of your history book, that is new religious developments in North India. Okay. Previously we have already read about the Nathpanthi, Siddhas and Yogis and Islam and Sufism. Now today we will going to discuss what are the effect was there on Indian different religious groups, and what are the effects in medieval period happened when Islam and Sufism and all those different ideas intermixed with each other. Okay, so it is also present in your history book, page number 113. So you will open the book and follow. So the period after 13th century saw a new wave of bhakti movement in North India. When this age was when Islam, Brahmanical Hinduism, Sufism, various strands of bhakti, okay, and like the Nathpanthi, the Alvars, Nanas, Siddhas, Yogis influenced one another, and we saw that new towns and kingdoms were emerged and people were taking up new professions and finding new roles for themselves. And in such situation, those people, especially the craftsperson, peasants, traders, laborers, thronged to listen of these new saints and spread their ideas with their work also. Like craftsperson, they also carved out some beautiful temples, and they also depicted those stories into the temple architecture in some terracotta tiles. So some of them like Kabir and Baba Guru Nanak at the time also emerged, and they rejected all orthodox religious practices, and others like Tulsidas and Surdas accepted existing beliefs and practices but wanted to make concept of and wanted to make these accessible to all. At the time, they not only realized the actual God, okay, actual form of God and the pathway towards God, but they also introduce the way, the simplest way, following which way is very easiest to reach towards up to the God. Okay. And Tulsidas conceived of God in the form of Rama. He also worshipped the God in the form of Rama. And Tulsidas' composition, Ramacharita-manas, mainly influenced by the Ramayana, also written in Awadhi language. And Awadhi is a language presently also spoken in presently Uttar Pradesh. So Ramacharita-manas, written in Awadhi language, mainly depicted the story of Rama, and the language is Awadhi. And in this way, it is important for both as an expression of his devotion as a literary work. So in this way, both Surdas and Tulsidas also expressed their devotion towards the God with their writings or literary work. Like Surdas also, like Tulsidas, was an ardent devotee of Krishna, and his composition compiled in the Surasagara, Surosaravali and Sahitya-Lahari. These are the three books, okay, three compilation of the poems written by Surdas, and express his devotion towards the Lord Krishna. And also contemporary Shankardeva of Assam, born in late 15th century, who emphasized devotion to Vishnu and composed poems and plays in Assamese language. So in this way we can see that in the very regions, different regions also, the bhakti movements spread, and they practiced this movement with the literary works, songs, music, dance, etc., and composed their literary work also in the local language, because and in this way the common people also of those distant places of Indian subcontinent, they also learned about the devotion. They also learned about this bhakti philosophy. And Shankardeva began to practice of setting up namghars or house of recitation and prayer, and a practice that continues till date. And this tradition also includes saints like Dadu Dayal. At the time, he also, historians said that Dadu Dayal also contemporary of Akbar, Mughal emperor. He was very contemporary with Mughal emperor Akbar. And Ravidas and Mirabai. Ravidas and Mirabai are another two saints. And Mirabai was a Rajput princess, you know, but he left everything. After the marriage, he left in the royal palace and all the earthly positions and all his royalness, and he married into a loyal family of Mewar in the 16th century, but he became a disciple of Ravidas and a saint from the caste considered untouchables. He also a disciple of Ravidas and also took the Diksha on the path to salvation. And she was the devotee of Krishna, also an ardent devotee of Krishna, and composed innumerable bhajans expressing her intense devotion towards Krishna. And this tradition was to worship the Krishna as their beloved. This is another path of devotion emerged at the time. Her songs also openly challenged the norms of upper caste and became popular with the masses in Rajasthan and Gujarat. The Mirabai's bhajan was very much famous today also in Rajasthan and Gujarat. And it also challenged the caste system because her guru was untouchable, belonged to a untouchable community, was Ravidas, a cobbler. Okay, so a unique feature of the most of the saints is that their works were composed in regional languages and could be sung. So they become immensely popular and were handed down orally from generation to generation. So some minstrels, poets also generation after generation continue the flow of bhakti movement. So women transmitted these songs, often adding their own experiences. They also add their own experiences that they gathered in the path of bhakti. And thus the songs as we have them today are as much a creation of the saints as of generations of people who sang them, and they have become a part of our living popular culture, and their daily lifestyle also intermixed with those songs. There one example of that kind of song is given in your book, that is the Beyond the Rana's Palace. Okay, so this song is composed by Mirabai. That Ranaji, I have left your norms of shame and false decorum of the princely life, and I have felt your town, and yet Rana, why have you kept up enmity against me? So in this way, beautifully, it is narrated the devotion towards God, and also how did Mirabai left his family, and Ranaji means her husband. Okay, so a closer look. Now another saint, we will see another saint's life, that is the Kabir. That Kabir, who probably lived in the 15th, 16th centuries and was one of the most influential saints, and he was brought up in a family of Muslim Julaha, and it was said he was born in a Hindu family, but he was left in his childhood by his family, and a Muslim Julaha or weaver family settled in or near the city of Varanasi raised him up. And we have little reliable information about his life, so we get to know that his ideas from a vast collection of verses called Sakhis and Padas. So the verses collection of Sant Kabir, known as Sakhis and Padas, said to have been composed by him and sung by wandering bhajan singers, and his songs also sung by some wandering bhajan singers of that region. Some of them were collected and preserved in Guru Granth Sahib, that is the holy text of Sikhs, and also Panchbani and Bijak. And also Kabir composed some two-liner poems that was known as Doha, and it is also a very important literary work in Hindi literature. Okay, so the Kabir's composition also mentioned in your book that, O Allah Ram, present in all living beings, have mercy on your servants, O Lord. Okay, so you can read that in this way, and lot of dohas also described the Hindu-Muslim unity in that was mainly spread by this type of sense, such as Jati Pati Puchai Na Koi, Hari Ko Bhaj So Hari Ka Hoy. So this type of doha also very much famous at the time, and Kabir's teaching were based on a complete, indeed vehement rejection of the major religious traditions. Very simple, he believed in very simple way of worshipping the God, and his teachings openly ridiculed all forms of external worship of both Brahmanical Hinduism, Vedic Hinduism, as well as Islam, and worship of both, and the preeminence of the priestly classes and the caste system. He also critical about the preeminence of the priestly classes, the dominance of the priests at the time in the society. They said the people, if you not respecting us, not giving us the things, and not giving us the tribute, then you will be fall from the society and you will be cursed. So in this way their dominance was very much priest classes. So he also opposed the dominance of the priest classes and the caste system present in India. So the language of his poetry was a form of spoken Hindi widely understood by ordinary people, and he also sometimes used cryptic language which is difficult to follow, and sometimes his dohas also used some double meaning words, which is sometimes the meaning is very deep in the case of bhakti or philosophical thinking, or sometimes if you read in commonly it is very simple meaning also. So Kabir believed in a formless supreme God and preached that the only path to salvation was through bhakti or devotion, and Kabir drew his followers from among both the communities, Hindu and Muslims. Today also Sant Kabir was a ideal person and from of many of Indians today in India. Okay students, so that's all from today's class. I hope you have understood about the life and teachings of Kabir. Okay, and also the other saints that was emerged in the 15th and 16th century India, such as Surdas, Mirabai, Chaitanya Dev, and also Ravidas as well as Tulsidas. Okay, so thank you for watching today's class. If you have any question regarding this subunit, you can ask me in our e-portal. So thank you for watching. Bye.